AITA for changing my smart doorbell settings so my neighbor only gets notifications when I'm having a party. So, context. My neighbor Brenda is Brenda. She's the kind of person who treats the shared garden like her personal, highly manicured museum exhibit and thinks she has the moral authority to critique everything in sight. Her latest crusade involved my composting pile. Seriously. She left a little laminated sign that said, "Please do not disturb the organic decomposition process," and took pictures of it from across the lawn like I was handling biohazard waste. The worst part wasn't the sign, though. It was her knowing I saw it. We were having our usual semi-awkward wave exchange over the fence, and she paused, gave me this pitying little smirk, and said something about keeping things civil. Civil. Like I was running a hostile nation-state right next to her azaleas. I work from home in marketing, which means my life is mostly filtered through the lens of corporate performative perfectionism, but honestly, Brenda has scraped me raw with sheer passive aggression. She keeps commenting on how loud my nog barks when I'm zooming, or how my recycling bin looks visually disruptive. I spent a solid week stewing over this. My friends told me to ignore her, which is the advice you give people who have never had their spirit questioned by someone wearing pristine white gardening gloves. The trigger point was last Saturday. I invited 3 friends over for a casual cookout. Nothing huge, just good music and some questionable grilling skills. Everything was fine until Brenda appeared at her gate like she owned the air. She didn't even say hello. She just stood there, arms crossed, looking disappointed, like I had defiled a sacred public space with char-grilled bratwurst. My friend Maya noticed it and whispered to me, "Seriously, what is up with her?" I finally snapped. Instead of making an effort to appease her with strained pleasantries, I just walked over to the new Ring doorbell unit that sits right on my side of the shared property line. It's a smart doorbell, and frankly, it's overkill for anything other than catching package thieves. But since she seems obsessed with monitoring things, I decided to use its features against her in a way that was petty, highly specific, and entirely irreversible without technical know-how. I remembered the settings menu. It's hyper-granular. You can customize who gets alerted and what triggers those alerts, motion detection, sound levels, etc. While she was busy delivering a pointed sign near the property line, I did it. I logged into my account on my phone, navigated through the user permissions, and adjusted the motion sound parameters for her specific camera angle, the one that covers her prize-winning petunias from across the street. I filtered out everything except high decibel sound events greater than 90 dB and confirmed presence of a dog. Essentially, I told the system that she would only receive alerts when something genuinely disruptive happened near her, like a car alarm going off or my actual Labrador barking maniacally after chasing a squirrel. The next morning, it was absolute chaos for her. She practically sprinted to her porch, looking at her phone like it held state secrets. Then, about 10 minutes later, her phone buzzed with a series of distinct and alarming notification chimes. She looked up at me from inside my house. I was innocently watering some basil, naturally, and I raised an eyebrow in the most sickeningly smug way possible. She stared at me, then backed down at her phone as if it had personally betrayed her trust. The look on her face wasn't just annoyance, it was pure, bewildered helplessness. She realized that something had changed, and she didn't even know how to fight the tech-based, invisible wall I had erected around my own property line. AITA for knowing exactly where her deepest paranoia lay and giving her nothing but empty triggers? Absolutely not. Best petty revenge ever.